Now, let us get into formal definitions and different terminologies associated with a control system. Now, control system in its most simplest form is described here in the figure shown in the slide, where in the center we see a black box that is called as a control system. It can be also called as a plant or process. The left hand side of which we see a signal uh, called normally as input to the system. It can also be termed as a stimulus that stimulates the system and forces it to go into a state of output. Or the same signal can also be called as desired response from the system. Whereas on the right hand side of the block, we see a signal that is called as output of the system. It can also be called as response of the system, or if we call input as desired response, then the signal on the right hand side of the block can be called as actual response of the system. So this is how we can depict a simple control system. Now the block, the black box which we show in the center consists of one or several components which are interconnected, assembled such that they act in tandem together to produce a desired output with a desired performance. So don't be worried from this definition that no, it's simply a working of numerous components towards a common objective, right, of a desired output. That is how we call a control system. We define a control system, right? So we will see examples which very much simplify and make it easy for us to understand a control system point of view. Now, let us see here a very common example of a control system, that of a elevator. We have frequently and many times used elevators, especially when we are in a high-rise apartment or building complex. For example, let us say we are on floor 1 and and so we were at example of elevator as a control system. If we are on level 4 and we want to reach level, if we are at level 1 and we want to reach level 4, what we do is we simply press the button 4 inside the elevator, and elevator very smoothly and slowly takes us from level 1 to level 4. Now here we show the input as pressing of button 4 on y-axis. It's a step change from the level where we were. Immediately the input is given as what? Level 4. So it's a step change, sudden change from level 1 to level 4, a step function. But the output is not of same nature. Output doesn't instantly change from level 1 to level 4. It takes its own time to reach level 4, shown by the trajectory, the curve here. Now, as long as the elevator car is in motion, we call this part of the output as transient response. And once the elevator has reached level 4 and comes to an halt, we call this as steady state output of the system. Now, you can see the transient response is that part of the output which changes with respect to time t, whereas steady state part of the output is that where response remains constant without any change with respect to time t. Now, what is so significant about transient response here? See, for the case, the transient response cannot be very fast. Otherwise, what we do is we cause uncomfortable, and it can cause jerk to the passengers inside the elevator. At the same time, the movement of elevator should not be very slow, or it will be at the cost of passengers' patience. So it should be rightly in nature, such that passenger, without even knowing that from level 1 he has now reached to level 4, it should be just set like that. And this is the task that is smoothly carried out by inbuilt control system comprising of various power electronic drives and motors which act behind and allow the experience for the passengers inside the elevator. At the same time, when elevator comes to an halt, the level, it should reach the level as close possible. Otherwise, it may cause some kind of difficulty or even safety issue for senior or elderly passengers to get out of the elevator. So both the parts of the responses, the transient response where output constantly changes with time t, and the steady state response where output remains fixed, have to be appropriately obtained so that the passenger gets a good experience and any hassle-free experience. So this is a very simple example of elevator acting as a control system where the output is to objective is to get passenger reach his desired floor, and at the same time giving him an experience and comfort while riding the elevator car. So next, we see now advantages of our control systems after getting into the description of control system with the earlier example of elevator car. Now, the foremost and main advantage of control system which we normally see is moving large objects, heavy items, equipments with precision. As shown here in the image, there is a huge antenna, a ground antenna that is pointing towards some farthest corners of the universe to pick up some faint radio signals to know on existence of any extraterrestrial life, if any at all. So these antennas are very huge. Some antennas are even bigger than the size of football fields. And such antennas, when they have to be pointed to a desired direction, this is done very comfortably sitting inside a control tower where the operator comfortably just moves a rotary knob on his panel, and all the action of getting antenna shifted from one direction to desired direction is undertaken by the system built around it. Now this is remotely done and second effortlessly done, but behind this is a complex system comprising of heavy electrical motors and drives which are designed to just execute the action. So the motors which are used, they provide for all the power that is needed to shift or bring the change in the direction of pointing of the antennas. And these motors are again controlled with very efficient drives which have to regulate the speed and the position so that again the objectives can be met precisely to precision. So the advantage of control system which we see here is of moving heavy items of